From Tete, Mozambique. I'm gonna just film this video because I really just have to share this story about the border crossing from Malawi into Mozambique. We're in a little grocery store with the girls in Blantyre, and it's called ShopRite, and they have pretty much everything that you would have in a North American store. Chloe doesn't think we should buy chicken here if the power goes out. But the power goes out daily in Malawi. Every day the power goes out. And the internet goes up and down. It's not very reliable.
But you can still check us out. So they must have generators for their cash registers.
They must.
But it sure makes it interesting to look for products. So this is what it looks like when the power goes out. As you can see, it's pitch black over here. And they have, I guess, a generator by this bakery section and the prepared food section, so it keeps it good. But otherwise the store is dark. Some of the customers are going through with flashlights on their cell phones to pick up products.
This is what happens in Malawi when there's no power in the grocery stores. People still shop, apparently. You can only pay with cash. So there we go. Now it's back.
There comes the power.
So when you're in Africa, you can't be in a rush because right now we're just waiting to be able to pay, but the machine's not really working, or maybe it's a network, or we're not sure. So somebody from the bank is coming, and then if not, we're gonna go all together to the bank machine with the lady and just pay in cash. But we're all on this bus. We've hired the whole bus to go to the border, and sometimes it works out better because if not, you stop every 5 minutes along the way to pick people up. So instead you just calculate how many seats times the trip and just pay the full fare for the whole bus. And that way you just go straight through. So
what was it, guys?
That's what we're doing. So to go to the price to go to the border town, so it's it's like 1 hour and a half maybe. It's going to be 32,000 their dollars, which is about 45 US dollars. So not so bad for the whole trip. And this luxurious bus all for ourselves. guys who are doing the same thing, here's some things you need to know, okay? You guys are gonna think this is nuts. All right, so normally when we do a border crossing, we're by minibus, like meaning minibus, like their transportation. So yesterday we left Blantyre, Malawi. We hired a minibus, and what we usually do is we like fill up the whole bus and then go. But if you don't want to have to stop every 5 minutes, you just pay for everybody's seat. So that's what we did, and we went right to the border crossing of Malawi. What we didn't realize though is like you can't walk from one border, like the Malawian border, to the Mozambique. So in between is like a 4-kilometer distance. So we took a quick taxi ride to the border. So we're now at the border. That took about, I don't know, an hour and a half. And we're going into Mozambique. So we're walking across the border, and apparently it's too far to walk. So to the next like checkpoint. So we have to find a taxi or something. When we arrived at the border though, on the Mozambique side, you have to buy visas, right? And most border crossing places have ATM machines, and they're fully running with electricity and stuff like that. But this one, for some reason, didn't have ATMs, and they didn't have electricity at the time. So me and Chloe decided to go back. So we got another taxi ride back to the Malawian side, pulled out money, and then we took a little, this time motorbike back. So the two of us went on a motorbike, and as we were going back, I was like telling Chloe, like, be very careful, there's like the muffler, right? And lo and behold, I touched the muffler a little bit, so I got this like massive burn on my foot right now, but not on my foot, sorry, on my leg. So anyway, long story short, we made it back, and then we were the only ones at the time at the border, right? So we were the only ones there, and we were asking the guy, like, do I have to pay in US dollars or in like Mozambique money? I didn't even know at the time what it's called. I still can't remember what it's called. So then the guy's like not answering me, so I'm like, dude, like, let me know how do I pay? So then finally he's like, US. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I go out, and then we have to like now find some money exchangers, and they're all trying to rip you off, and you don't have any like any buying power, if you will, or any negotiating power, because they know you need to exchange with them. So I got them down a little bit on the exchange rate, but still got ripped off a little bit. So anyhow, so then I go back with my US dollars, and now there's like this whole bus line of people going through, and I go right up, and then the guy's like, no, we won't take bills that are higher, like lower than a 50. So you have to have 50s or 100s. And I found out this morning that people that are here, they were paying with 20s and had no problems. So I'm not sure if the guy was like, oh, we just don't like you tourists, or what it was all about, but he was like, no. So I had to find this like other man who was like so gracious and so nice. I think he was like from India, and he was like, here, what do you need? And he exchanged me my 20s for 50s, and then I still had 50 left over that had to be paid in small change. So he convinced the officer to take the 20s and the 10, which he did. So that was that. So now 2 hours go by, right? We're still at the border, and we're waiting. So we're waiting and waiting for like at least an hour, and I'm like thinking they just, for whatever reason, are not. And you don't want to be cocky, because I don't know, like whenever I cross into the US, I get a little worried, and I was like, okay, you don't want to like just be too pushy. So we're just patiently waiting. There's like 4 officers there just doing nothing. They're not doing anything with our passports. About 2 hours at the border just tops the US borders for timing and bureaucracy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 officers, and for some reason not one of them's working, and one of them's been working on Angelique's passport for the last 45 minutes. Government workers, I tell ya. So then finally we were like, what's going on? They're like, oh, our computers are down. As it happens, I guess, sometimes in these countries. He said our computers don't get maintained, and so therefore we have issues, and kind of like a printer that doesn't work, just wasn't working. So we waited another hour, and at this point it's like already, I don't know, maybe 10 at night or something. Like, it's getting late, it's getting dark, and we still have to find a taxi on the other side from a bunch of like hungry people that are ready to rip you off, right? So finally the machines start working, and now we're able to get our visas, and we were able to carry on. So we've been here for a total of 4 hours now, and we are almost done filling out and finishing the paperwork. So what happened was the computer system was down, and so therefore nothing was working. So we just had to wait and wait and wait and wait. And finally we get to go. And just as we were about to leave, this guy comes in, and he's like this really nice kind of like how would you describe him? Like this big kind of South African, like kind of loud voice, very authoritative kind of guy. And he shows up and he's like, where are you guys going? Where are you staying in Tete? And like, where are you from? And he's like, okay, they're just doing a business here and they're gonna totally rip you off. So he's like, I have a pickup truck. Maybe I can fit you in the back of my pickup truck. We'll move the luggage around and see if that works. So he starts asking the guys like, okay, how much are you gonna charge to the family? And the guy's like telling them, he's like, no, you're ripping them off. Like, and then he's like, then the guy's like, no, and they start like talking loud and such. And he's like, I think the guy's drunk, so definitely you're coming with me. So off we go in the back of their pickup truck. So all 5 of us in the back seat, because he had another lady in the front seat. And we take off down the road. So Tete from the border is a good hour and maybe 40-minute drive. And as we're going, we're like doing really good speed. Everything's going really well. We're a little bit squashed, but it's okay. All of a sudden we like run over this big, huge snake, and it was like a python, like a crazy python snake. So he backs up the car or the truck and he's like, I want to pick it up and put it in the back. And the lady in the front's like, no, don't do it. So we didn't pick up the snake, which is a good thing, because what if he was still alive, right? And we carry on the way. Apparently it's not the safest, and because it's now dark, this nice gentleman, he's from here but he speaks Portuguese, he's taking us in the back of his pickup truck and we're putting all of our luggage and everything in his backpack, in the backpack of his truck, however you call it. So it's really nice of him, and he's like kind of like saying the other guys are just gonna rip you off, plus they're drunk, so it's best to come with me. So now we go another, few kilometers, and all of a sudden he's like, uh-oh, I hear something in my back tire. It doesn't sound good. So we pull over and we have a flat tire. We're in the middle of no man's land between the border and Tete, and now we're stuck without a tire, functioning tire. We're right now on a road on our way to Tete, Mozambique. We're in Mozambique, and we just got another little delay because there's a flat tire. So this nice gentleman, William, who picked us up, we're all in the back of his backpack, or his truck, but now he has a flat tire. So now we have to wait 50 minutes because his spare is flat for somebody from Tete to come over with some kind of pump to pump up the tire. And then hopefully there'll be no more delays, because we left with ample amount of time, and it's almost 10 at night now. So we we were gonna do this all tomorrow and go straight to the airport, but we would have totally missed the flight. So it's a good thing we came a day before, thanks to Julia's suggestion. But it's all part of the experience, and it makes it fun for you guys watching on YouTube, right? There was a python back there, so you never know what we might see. That's why the 2 girls are in the truck. They're too scared to be standing out here, even though I'm telling them pythons are scared of them, but they don't believe me. So he puts down his spare tire, and the spare tire was also flat, so this is not good. And he didn't have a pump because the pump was in his other vehicle. So we start flagging down every truck that goes by, and when I say every truck, you have to wait maybe 5 minutes between seeing another vehicle, and then the vehicles are kind of we don't know about you guys, so they just keep kind of going, right? They're kind of scared. So but we did stop a few trucks, and not one single one had a pump. And all of a sudden this one truck goes by, and it had loads of people in the back of the truck. And the lady that was with us, she takes off with the truck, and I was like, oh, what's going on? Well, maybe she needs to get going, who knows what, she's off to town and we won't see her again. And so I didn't really think anything of it. So we're still waiting. And then all of a sudden, maybe 50 minutes later, she comes back with the same truck full of guys, and with 2 guys that get out, and they have this pump. And so they pump up the spare tire, and then now we go to take off again. She's in the front seat, all 5 of us in the back seat, and now 2 guys in the trunk with all the luggage and an extra tire, and off we go. So we hit the road again, and then the one guy we dropped off in the little village, and we keep going further, and we repass the truck because we were going 120 an hour, and they're probably going slower, and then beep them down, and they were all cheering yeah, great, you guys got going again. And the guy goes back with the other truck and his other party of people, right? So now it's getting late. It's about midnight, and he's like, okay, well, where you guys were booked to stay is kind of further out of the village. I live on the river, and I have a little camping area. You guys can have one of the units, and the rest of you can sleep in my house. And we were like, oh, that's amazing. So then we arrive at his place, and if you can see behind me, we're on the Zambezi River, right there. we get here and it's about like 12:30, like I said, and we see this like pickup truck and we're like, oh my gosh, that looks like the exact same pickup truck from this couple from that we met up in Tete. So Tete is like, I don't know, we're talking about like 10 good hours, if not more, away. And the girls are like, look, it's that same couple, like they're sleeping right in the tent. And I'm like, I doubt it, because like, what are the odds? But you never know. So the girls slept in a unit kind of over there. We slept in the house, me, Angelique, Tyler. And I wake up, I come out this morning, and yeah, it was them. And so it was so funny. We're like, no way, what are the odds? It's so crazy. So then we shared border crossing stories, and theirs was funny because they arrived at the border and they were like, yeah, we're out of power, but we have these like generators. If you guys pay us money, we'll get some diesel for the generators. So then they paid the guy money, like $5, and then all of a sudden, boom, 2 diesel things arrive, and they were going, and they think it's kind of like a business that they do on the side to just like get extra cash from tourists, or they say, oh, sorry, we can't service you, and therefore, you know, pay up, and then all of a sudden, boom, it starts working again. So very strange. Lastly, so right before we were going to bed, William is his name, the guy who owns this place, and he's like, yeah, you can go down to the river, there's no problem, but he's like, just don't, you know, swing your feet off the bridge or be too like relaxed. He's like, because there is a big crocodile that they see in that river every once in a while, so like, he's like, just be careful. So I don't know that the girls will go down to the river at all. I don't think that's a good idea. So anyhow, we had an amazing sleep. We're rested, ready to catch the next flight, which is Tete to Maputo, all the way down in the south. And there's our story about crossing the Malawian and the Mozambique border at night. So another part of the story is the guy that took us last night. He was actually a missionary in different African countries, and he's an actual pastor as well. So just behind me, in that little kind of area, they're going to have an African church service this morning, so this should be interesting. We're going to go attend it right now.
Wherever you may lead, I will go. Be it in a quiet pasture or by a gentle stream, the shepherd of my soul is by my side.
Oh yeah, it's Sunday here and everything's actually open. The stores are open. So we're gonna go get ourselves some internet because we've been long needing internet, like super long needing internet. I haven't been able to make phone calls in over like a week. So thanks to my dear precious Elena who's been helping me out, I managed to survive. So. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified on our next videos, and talk to you next time. Bye. Mm-hmm.